Hello.
Hi, Jenny, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Not bad at all. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to invite Jenny Cross from Cross Productions to this series of great people who are getting interviewed for their leadership, for their success, and sharing their stories to motivate and inspire others. So thank you so much, Jenny, for coming in.
Hello, welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Appreciated. So, Jenny, you are from various backgrounds, but always being part of the media. So, what's your current business, and what does it do? What do you deliver?
So currently, the business that I work with or for is Cross Productions. So we're actually 9 on Sunday. So we've been around for 9 years, this business has.
Wow.
And Cross Productions advises, educates and implements marketing solutions primarily for small business owners, solopreneurs or large corporates.
Wow, fantastic. So, how does this idea of cross productions, came to being, and what's the journey like?
Okay, so I left college with a handful of GCSEs and went to do some telesales for a newspaper company. I was there for very nearly 9 years, and I quit 6.5 months pregnant because I didn't feel that they were very ethical. So things had changed in that business over time, and one day I decided this really wasn't for me. So I quit and I set up on my own. I figured, how hard can this be? So I set up my own magazine, and that ran for 5 years. We actually went into voluntary liquidation. And at that point, I set up Cross Productions, hence the really unoriginal name, obviously, as it's named after my surname, because I was sat in my accountant's office crying, saying, what am I going to do? So that's where it came from.
Wow, that's interesting. So, all these years, you have obviously been through the lows and highs of your life. What has worked for you to retain and grow the customers?
Honesty. If I'm really honest with you, the best marketing that anyone can do is always word of mouth. We've always been very honest, very open. If we don't feel that we're the right fit, or we don't believe we can deliver to the client's expectations, we're really open and honest rather than just taking on the work. So I think that's been sort of one of the big keys. We've built a really great network of people that we work alongside. They act as ambassadors of our brand, so they'll often recommend us in. So off the back of that, it's all tied into word of mouth.
Wow. I think it's been quite a bit of a journey, since you started. Could you just tell us a few more of your stories, something challenging you must have faced, and how you overcome those challenges?
So I'll give you an obvious one, COVID. So before COVID came along, we worked off a lot of different spreadsheets. Everybody was based in our office. COVID hit and we didn't have one written process. So everybody just knew what they were doing. Most of the team have been with us for a long time. So we don't tend to churn staff. We've got a really strong culture in the business. So I actually qualified as a professional business coach a number of years ago. And the reason I did that qualification was to embed a coaching environment within our workplace. So we do tend to retain our staff. So happy staff tend to make them more productive. They enjoy the job more. They do a better job for the clients. The clients then benefit. So yeah, leaving, to go home on that first day and work from home was a massive challenge because we didn't have a way of communicating seamlessly. So we built a CRM system, literally built it over a weekend. It was really full on. And at that point, we only had a very small sort of digital offering. So we only had a couple of clients that we sort of, I suppose, supported really with their social media. Loads of our clients who, for example, we've got a magazine as part of our portfolio. A lot of our clients switched so from magazine to wanting to go digital. So they still wanted to work with us, but were wondering what could we do better for them. And equally, we went to a lot of our clients and said, look, this isn't going to work for you. under the climate, would you like us to do this? These are the objectives. This is what we would look to be achieving. What do you think? So it was a complete flip. So I would say one of the biggest things was not having processes and not having a CRM system in place. Obviously, yeah, we did both in a very short space of time. So physically, there was a process written for everything from onboarding a client, what we look for in a client. It just meant that we could be more direct and more targeted. So obviously, you know yourself with marketing, it's a much better outcome when you're more specific. So we now have a folder pretty thick full of processes, but it does mean that as we grow, anyone can sit in any role in the business and you've got everything there, everything that you need.
Fantastic. That's so interesting to know. Now, having had, this COVID and all, now obviously many businesses are adopting this, less work days in the office. With that sort of a culture, how do you keep the team motivated?
To be fair, I think from our point of view, and I can only really speak for our own company, every single person that we recruit is recruited on some very strong core values. One of those is about eager to learn. So personal development's a massive part of it, which generally means that they're quite motivated, sort of, go-getters. Equally speaking, we have very clear sort of KPIs. People understand what success looks like to me and to the company, and how that then plays a bigger picture role. And I think a lot of the time I think a lot of businesses go wrong because they don't have clear expectations or what they think is good. Maybe the team don't realise. So with that clarity and transparency, it means that we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. So we're all, pulling in the same direction. So for us, like I say, they're big team players. That core value comes in there, hardworking, and obviously, eager to learn. So I think ticking those three boxes really makes a big difference. So we tend to have people that actually, I think that sometimes they work harder at home because it's almost that they want to prove, how hard they've worked. But it shines through in their core values.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked about, the processes you put in. Obviously, tools are important part of, implementation and execution of those processes. And you talked about the CRM. So any particular CRM that you're using, or any other tools that you want to mention?
Yeah, so we use a CRM system called Monday.com, and we found it really easy to work with. For us, it's quite a visual thing, so it's very colourful, and you can tailor that. Because we're a marketing agency, we're obviously full of creatives. Often we see things quicker than we read things. So that actually works really well for us. We've been able to use a lot of the automations and create our own automation. So we can manage not just the pipeline, but the sales coming through, the new clients, the onboarding, right through to sort of the project management. So whether that's a client that comes on and they've taken some space in the magazine, that then needs to be tracked all the way through. It needs to go to the team that deliver that. Or equally, if it's a client that's come on from a digital perspective, it needs to be fed through. So who's going to be the digital account manager? What is that the goal I keep going to say child just because I've got 3 kids. I'm conscious that they'll be home soon from school, you see, and I'm thinking, don't be loud. From the client perspective, what does that client say success looks like? So that clarity around actually, I'm paying you this much money each month, and for that to feel that it's a worthwhile spend, I need to see this return. So all of that clarity and managing that workflow and those goals.
Wow, fantastic. So Monday.com as a CRM, project management, task management. Any other tool that you use at all? Any platform?
No, obviously we've got Xero accounting, which is always very handy. But between that and the CRM, with the CRM, we created tailored reporting systems for each department. So we can look at the measures, the margins, what's working, what's not, what's coming in, what's popular out of every bit of business that gets done each month. We can work that out and see where we're more profitable, which department's doing well. So no, we found that is absolutely hitting every nail on the head for us. There's also a lot of training videos on YouTube, so you can obviously look at most things, but it's pretty easy to use once you get into it anyway.
Right, fantastic. Well, that's very useful, I think, to know, the journey and, what all you do for your customers and how, interesting it is to navigate through all these years and, come to this 9-year milestone, should I say, and yeah, look back and, see what all you have done well. So quite inspiring though. Hi there. I just wanted to share with you all why London School of Digital Business is doing this great people interview series. Well, for the last few years, small and medium businesses have been facing lots of challenges. Individuals have been wondering what's going to happen to their careers because of these emerging trends and technologies, artificial intelligence, VR, AR. What's going to happen? It feels as if the world is changing. And then COVID hit, and there is a lot of depression in the minds of people. So we thought we need to bring in some positivity, bring in some motivation and inspiration. And it's all good to know these stories of, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. But we wanted to talk about the extraordinary stories of the people that you get to see in the ordinary world. They are no way ordinary people. They are great people, but they are the ones you can relate to. Hence, we thought this is something that we want to bring in to increase the chances of success for many, motivate them, give them the insights. I'm so happy to share that every leader has shared completely unique and different insights because their situations have been different. Somebody was alone, and we know that entrepreneurs are alone at the top and how it feels, and they fought their challenges. Somebody had partnership, business partners, and somebody could not survive the business partnership, so they had to rebuild themselves. Somebody thought, well, I could have done this differently if I was to go back in time. So every insight is so unique. I must thank all the people who shared their journeys, and I'm sure this will help you all succeed in life, increase the chances of your success, as well as reach there faster, and of course, achieve happiness in life. Thank you for listening. Now, going to the second part of our interview session, which is rapid fire questions. They're short and simple and little lighter questions. How would you like to spend your weekend?
Generally with my kids. So I've got 3 kids. So generally just doing something crazy with them. So whether it's, going out on an adventure, or going to visit somewhere. So this weekend we went to the athletics in Birmingham. Wow. So the UK athletics, that was brilliant. But yeah, generally speaking, it's something with the kids.
Great. And what's your favorite sport?
Wow, I'm torn, I have to say. So I really like going to the athletics, but from a sport perspective, I have grown up with football, although over the last number of years, I have to say I've become quite a big rugby fan. So toss up between football and rugby.
All right. Okay. Well, your family and any pets?
So yeah, me and my 3 kids, and then we have 2 cats. So yeah, my son was scared of cats. He had to have a hypnotherapy to be able to not be scared of them, so the girls could have these cats because they were desperate for them. So yeah, he got some serious brother points for that. So yeah, we have 2 cats. The girls obviously have 1 each.
Wow, great. And what's your favorite holiday destination?
Gran Canaria, or if we're going UK, it would be Brixham.
Great. All right, so coming to the most important part of the interview is to go through some of the questions which will give people some insights into self-exploration probably. So if you were to go back in time, what you would have done differently?
I would have done a detailed budget from the word go with a cash flow forecast. There's loads and loads of these online that you can use, or equally, if you can find yourself a nice mentor, they'll probably be able to share something. But I think if I'd have had a budget and a cash flow from the word go, we'd be in a very different position now. So that's something that I wish I'd have done much sooner.
Right. And what's your ultimate goal or vision or purpose of life?
Okay, so our vision is to be the leading East Midlands marketing agency of choice, delivering above and beyond our clients' expectations. And in an ideal world, what I'd like to do, milestone-wise, I'd like to be in a position where we've helped support a minimum of 10,000 independent small businesses.
Wow, fantastic. Well, I'll definitely take that up later, and because we are also getting up to help small businesses, especially in the UK, but probably around Europe as well. There are lots of people who are struggling and need mentoring, need hand-holding, and of course some help in terms of their marketing as well, which you're really good at. Let's see, if we can do something together there. And finally, who is your inspiration and why?
I would say probably my inspiration is twofold. So obviously I'm massively inspired by my family. So my sister actually works with me. She's one of the directors here at Cross Productions. So obviously my own kids, my dad, my sister, obviously very, very, very close. So they inspire me every day. From an outside point of view, I would say I'm inspired by a lady called Leanne Bonner-Cook. She's somebody I met very early on when I first set up Cross Productions, and she's always been a bit of a mentor to me. She's now a very good personal friend, but I can go to her about anything to do with business and ask her for honest advice, and she'll always be brutally honest, which I think sometimes is what you need, rather than someone saying what they think you want to hear. She will challenge me, she'll push me, but I know she always believes in me. So yeah, that for me is a game changer. So yeah,
you need that kind of a person in your life, isn't it? You feel blessed, somebody's telling you on your face, this is not you, this is where you're wrong. Because lots of people will just say yes, and something that you would like to hear, but honesty. And that's why early on in your interview, you use this word honest and honesty, many times, because I think it gives to me a feeling that, that's kind of your core, core of Cross Productions, core of Jenny Cross, which is, being honest.
Yeah, it's important, very important.
Well, that's a great takeaway for our audience, I must say. And apart from that, any advice you would like to give to the audience who are students from universities, as well as startups, entrepreneurs, small businesses?
I suppose one thing that I would say is own it. So there's if you have a look, there's something that we live by, which is the ownership rule. So working above the line or below the line. So if you're above the line, you take ownership, you're responsible, you're accountable. If you're below the line, you're in denial, it's not your fault. So that's we live and breathe by. So we're all human, we all make a mistake from time to time, but it's how you deal with it. So within our whole company, if somebody makes a mistake, they own it. They'll come forward and say, actually, I've really messed this up. This is why I messed it up. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. So they'll come with a solution. And the idea is that they reflect on that and they actually learn from it. So I would say that's one of the strongest bits of advice is nothing's ever going to be perfect. You are going to make mistakes, but own them and learn from them.
That's so motivating and inspirational. Great to hear your journey, Jenny, and all the best for your goals and your vision. Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice having you.
Thank you for having me.